What happens when national pride collides with financial opportunity? Can waving your flag pay your rent, cover your injuries, or guarantee your future? Jamaica is now facing this harsh reality as four elite athletes nurtured on local soil and raised in the spirit of national honor are turning their backs, not out of disloyalty, but out of survival. They're taking their talent, medals, and dreams to a new flag: Turkey. This moment forces us to ask, are we doing enough to keep our champions home? In June 2025, credible reports confirmed that two of Jamaica's brightest field stars, Olympic shot put bronze medalist Rajindra Campbell and discus gold medalist Roje Stona, are now officially switching allegiance to Turkey. This wasn't a rumor whispered through forums. It was factual, deliberate, and calculated. These aren't unknowns or bench warmers. These are top-tier decorated athletes, and their departure sent shockwaves through Jamaica's track and field community. But why the sudden shift? One word: money. Campbell and Stona reportedly received an upfront US $500,000 bonus each just to sign with Turkey. On top of that, they'll earn US $30,000 per month and become eligible for six-figure performance bonuses that can stretch up to $1 million US. It's not just a paycheck, it's life-altering security, especially for athletes in disciplines that traditionally lack major endorsements and visibility. Field athletes in Jamaica have long operated in the shadow of their sprinting counterparts. While sprinters bask in media coverage and sponsorship deals, throwers often struggle for recognition or even basic support. Campbell has been vocal about the lack of appreciation, explaining that we don't feel the appreciation coming out of Jamaica. This isn't bitterness, it's a truth about unequal resource allocation. When the foundation is cracked, loyalty can't fill the gaps. This is not uncharted territory. In 2015, Jamaican-born sprinters Jack Ali Harvey and Emre Zafer Barnes also changed allegiance to Turkey. Back then, it raised eyebrows but didn't provoke the same level of concern. The difference now is in the caliber and success of the athletes making the switch. These are Olympic medalists at the peak of their careers, and they're no longer waiting for their homeland to step up. And it may not stop with two. Reports indicate that World U20 triple jump gold medalist Jaydon Hibbert and Olympic long jump silver medalist Wayne Pinnock are also considering switching allegiance. If those moves materialize, Jamaica could lose four of its top field event athletes in less than a year. This isn't a coincidence. It's a signal that something structurally wrong is pushing athletes away. According to World Athletics rules, any athlete switching nationality must observe a mandatory 3-year waiting period before representing their new country. However, this period can be reduced or even waived if both national federations and the IOC agree. If their switch is completed by the end of June, they would be eligible to compete for Turkey in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Timing is crucial here, and Turkey clearly understands how to play the clock strategically. All four athletes have the performance credentials to be strong contenders in Los Angeles, provided their transition to Turkey is completed by June 2025 to satisfy the 3-year waiting rule. Their current form, age profile, and competitive upward trajectories suggest medal-winning potential in 2028. The combination of peak performance and strategic nationality switching positions them well for Olympic success, if Turkey can maintain their support system and keep them injury-free. The Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, J3A, issued a guarded statement claiming that they have not received formal notification of any nationality switches. They insist that unless official paperwork is submitted, these athletes are still eligible to represent Jamaica. But to the public, this stance feels more like a deflection than action. Whether or not the documents arrive, the damage is already unfolding in real time. This isn't the first time J3A's leadership has come under fire. They recently blamed Hurricane Beryl for communication failures that led to hammer thrower Nayoka Clunas being left off the Olympic team despite qualifying. In another blow, nearly 14 local meets lost World Athletics recognition due to administrative blunders. These aren't just isolated missteps. They paint a picture of consistent neglect, especially for athletes outside the sprinting spotlight. Rajindra Campbell's fiery October 2024 appearance on Sportsmax's Out D Blocks didn't mince words. He criticized the lack of respect and support for field event athletes, stating, "You exclude half the events and expect glory." His frustration wasn't just personal. It echoed the sentiments of many who feel undervalued. These cries for change were loud, clear, and public, but seemingly ignored by the powers that be. Another Jamaican, during the 2024 Paris Olympics, Jamaican shot put champion, Daniel Thomas-Dodd faced one of the toughest battles of her career, not with opponents on the field, but with her own support system. Despite having thrown 18.12 meters and falling just short of qualifying for the final, her frustration erupted on air when she revealed she'd spent 2.5 weeks at the Olympic Village without her coach, denied accreditation by both the Jamaican Athletics Administrative Association, J3A, and the Jamaica Olympic Association, JOA. Thomas-Dodd described this not simply as a logistical oversight, but a systemic disregard. Her coach was not just a trainer, but her emotional anchor and on-site therapist. Without him, her preparation was incomplete and her performance compromised. She questioned why, amid Jamaica's track and field pride and increased medal focus, such fundamental athlete support remained neglected, especially when field events like hers have secured some of the country's only medals. Her public critique sparked a defensive response. JOA President Christopher Samuda urged her to retract her comments, stating the JOA had provided Olympic solidarity scholarships and support, but the core of her argument remained unaddressed: equal respect and access for field athletes. Asafa Powell, one of Jamaica's sprint legends, added a sobering layer to this narrative. Speaking on his YouTube channel, The Powells, he revealed that he once turned down millions of US dollars to switch allegiance himself. In hindsight, he admitted he regrets staying with Jamaica given the lack of support. He even stated that his children wouldn't represent Jamaica under the current system. That's not bitterness. That's lived experience transformed into a cautionary tale. Turkey isn't just throwing money at athletes. They're executing a calculated plan. Their sports ministry reportedly includes pathways for athletes to serve in ambassadorial or coaching roles after retirement. This isn't a one-season fling. It's a sustainable investment model. This move is a low blow for Jamaica, taking 4 top-tier athletes. Turkey is securing them and planning for their futures too. Across social media, Jamaicans are divided. Some view the switches as betrayal, while others express heartbreak and empathy. The reactions are emotional because the issue cuts deep. It touches pride, identity, and the fear of losing the very spirit of Jamaican track and field. But here's the uncomfortable truth. These athletes aren't traders. They're professionals with short windows to earn and zero guarantees for retirement. Switching allegiance is often less about rejecting a country and more about accepting a future. When your flag doesn't feed your family, when you're risking injury with no fallback plan, you start thinking like a business. And that's exactly what this is. Business, not betrayal. Jamaica is known worldwide as the land of sprint legends. But what about its throwers and jumpers? If athletes stop wearing the Jamaican flag on international stages, the country's brand takes a hit. This isn't just about medals. It's about national representation, pride, and the image of athletic dominance. And if that image cracks, rebuilding it won't be easy. Jamaica's leading sports bodies, J3A and JOA, must face the music. Editorials have called for greater transparency in how funds are distributed and how athlete support is prioritized. Where are the financial reports? Where's the public strategy for athlete welfare and retention? Without answers, trust will continue to erode, and with it, Jamaica's grip on its talent. It's time for real change, not lip service. Jamaica needs a long-term athlete retention strategy that includes more than basic training grants. We're talking proper salaries, career transition planning, mental health support, and sponsorship leverage. It's not enough to celebrate athletes at the finish line. We must support them every step of the way. Let's be honest. Today it's 4, but what if tomorrow it's 20? If Turkey can poach medalists, who's to say other countries won't follow? Jamaica's current infrastructure isn't built to compete with these offers. Unless there's an immediate course correction, we may be witnessing the slow hollowing out of a track and field empire. Other nations don't rely solely on patriotism. They build systems, complete with pensions, scholarships, and business partnerships that treat athletes as assets. Jamaica has the talent and the passion. What it lacks is a scalable, sustainable model for nurturing and retaining that talent long-term. It's time to study what works and implement it boldly. Across the globe, countries are stepping up with significant financial incentives for athletes who medal at major international events like the Olympics and World Championships, rewards that reflect both national pride and athlete investment. Nations like Singapore, Hong Kong, and Turkey are offering 6- and 7-figure payouts for gold medals, with Turkey reportedly providing not only US $500,000 signing bonuses, but monthly stipends and up to US $1 million in performance bonuses for naturalized athletes. Even countries with smaller economies, such as Kenya, Serbia, and Malaysia, have implemented structured cash rewards and, in some cases, lifetime pensions or housing options. These financial frameworks are designed not just to celebrate victory, but to sustain athletes beyond their competitive years. In stark contrast, Jamaica, a nation famed for producing world-class athletes, offers no standard cash reward system for Olympic or World Championship medalists. Athletes often depend on personal sponsors or government stipends that are inconsistent, insufficient, or delayed. This glaring absence of structured financial recognition has become a growing point of contention, especially as Jamaican talent is being lured abroad by countries willing to put their money where their medals are. This controversy marks more than a headline. It's a historic shift. How Jamaica handles it will define its future in athletics. Will we see reforms and investment, or will denial push more athletes out the door? This is a line in the sand moment. The next move will show whether Jamaica is serious about keeping its champions on home soil. In summary, Jamaica has officially lost 2 decorated field event athletes to Turkey, with 2 more reportedly on the verge. These athletes aren't villains. They're a mirror reflecting our systemic shortcomings. Turkey played their cards with precision and backed it up with financial muscle. The question now is, how will Jamaica respond? Because one thing is clear, ignoring this exodus is no longer an option. We've peeled back the layers, examined the evidence, and now the ball's in Jamaica's court. So I want to hear from you. Do you think these athletes made the right move? And what specific changes would you like to see from Jamaican athletics authorities to stop the next wave of departures? Let's talk in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to Track Enfield Ting Zone, and as always, keep the sports spirit alive.